Hey guys, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome to some official Troy, a Total War Saga gameplay. The guys over the Creative Assembly were kind enough to give me an early access copy of Troy to record some battle footage for you here today. So a huge thank you to them and their community team. I'll put in the description below the Steam page for Troy Total War if you'd like to check out some further information. Rightio then guys, let's get stuck into the battle. We're playing as swift-footed Achilles for the Achaeans. If you haven't gone and checked out my Hector video, I highly recommend you do if you want to see some Trojan battle gameplay. We're going to be playing as the Achaeans, the Myrmidons here today. Here is Achilles. You're most welcome to pause and have a look at him, as there are some beautiful, highly detailed inscriptions on his armor and shield. Let's go through some of the units, as his army build differs from Hector's. So we've got some light swords here on the left hand side, inspired obviously because of the age, in the Bronze Age, in the Mediterranean. You're most welcome to pause and have a look at the unit details. I've got a lot of information as well that I'd like to share with you here today. So we've got some runners here, a lighter sword unit, which looks like to be a crane and some horses inscribed on their white shields as well, moving to away to sort of a medium to heavier units. We've got the champions of the Pythia here. Not exactly sure if they're medium, but I'm pretty sure they're a heavier unit for the Achaeans. Moving further down the battle line, we have some Myrmidon swordsmen. Now, Achilles' army build doesn't have as many sort of skirmishes, only lighter ones for this particular battle. Hector definitely has skirmisher supremacy. We've just got some lighter javelins. Moving down to some spear infantry. These are some just medium stock standard spear infantry. Now, depending on particular units in Troy Total War, there are offensive and defensive abilities which are new for spear units. The Pythia spears here can equip their spears with two hands, removing their shields, or vice versa, giving aggressive buffs for spears and additional defensive. Here is the attacked mode here, which we can toggle. Some of them, as you can see, are putting their shields on their back, wielding their spears with two hands, giving offensive capabilities. I think it's because we're still in the battle select screen. Not everyone has gone and done that just yet. Now, this battle, there was two options. You could either play on easy or hard. That's what it was locked for this particular build. Hopefully in the future I can show off some different levels of gameplay. We've got the chariots here. We do have cavalry slash chariot supremacy playing as Achilles, while Hector has the more defensive, heavier units, along with a Minotaur, which we have to watch out for. However, we've got some mythical warriors of our own. We have some savage Minotaur warriors here, and they are perfectly reflected with their bull horns there. They are going to be a limited force in Troy. Here are some of the terrain as well that we're going to be able to use. There are three new terrain modes: mud, sand and grass, throughout the battlefield. So if you're a person who likes vanguard deployment more, you'll be able to set up a lot of ambushes in and around the battlefield. Achilles' fleet is just behind us, and here is the city of Troy itself from what we can see already, and the Trojan palace. Further up there is Helen, I'm assuming, and Paris, and Prim, cowering behind their walls. Achilles and Hector have to parley outside. Let's move on to the Achaeans. Achilles, warlord of the Myrmidons, swift-footed Achilles, legendary hero of the Iliad, was the mightiest warrior the world has ever known. He's seemingly invincible in combat, which was subject of myth and conjecture. Legend claims that his mother was a sea goddess who granted him invulnerability as an infant, dipping his head first into the waters. Well, forgetting his Achilles at the end of the day, I guess. Such was the might that no other man could lift his spear Pelion. Achilles was the leader of the Myrmidons, a elite fighting force from the Pantheia, said to have been constructed by Zeus himself from a colony of ants. Ferociously loyal, they fought with ferocity and overcame unsurmountable odds through sheer and unflinching determination. While Achilles' mere presence was often enough to turn the tide in battle, the Pythian champion was prone to great, unpredictable mood swings that could either shake or bolster the resolve of the entire Achaean host. Achilles' playstyle is reflected as the mightiest warrior of the Iliad, but he's hot-tempered and unpredictable. Achilles is for the risk-taker who prefers to seek out and overcome averse heavy units in their disposal. His roster focuses on great and rapid speed, high octane and momentum, and maneuverability, as well as a versatile in battle. He also has a large number of unique units. Hector, Prince of Troy, known as the Shining Helm, the champion of Troy and heir to King Priam, had already made a name for himself at the onset of the Trojan War as one of the finest warriors of this age. The prince was renowned for his courage and unwavering devotion, leading the war effort against the Achaeans despite his objections to the initial conflict. Hector was raised from birth to lead his father's armies, was feared by his enemies, and could turn the tide of battle through sheer bravado and military cunning, wavering an ornate of bronze armor, carrying a shield. He wielded a mighty spear with skill and ferocity in equal parts. Hector's playstyle in Troy, the champion of Troy, Hector is well suited to defensive masters who prefer to gradually wear down the opponent before landing the killing blow. His roster is focused on tough, heavy, and expensive, well-armored units which can be used to crush frontal attacks. So let's go through some of the mythical units which are going to be available in Troy Total War. So the Creative Assembly have opted this term, the truth beyond the myth approach for the game. So, the myth approach allows them to draw from a multitude of mythological and most renowned monsters and include them on the battlefield of Troy, historically represented, however, in what the truth would have been. This approach allows them to expand unit diversity by offering unique warriors to rosters and also adding an extra layer of tactical versatility to combat. Now, to get these units, it's going to be easier said than done. So they only can be recruited by obtaining specific regions throughout the campaign map or through the Divine Will mechanic. These units are hard to obtain but are extremely powerful to use in battle. First up, the Minotaur, which we've seen in action throughout this battle, is a powerful unit which can cause massive disarray to the enemy troops. Using his bull rush ability, he can trample through the front lines, opposing enemies to get to the middle of the fray, where he can use his savage roar to cause huge morale penalties. The Centaurs, which Achilles is using in this fight, are mobile cavalry units which can harass, flank, and ease enemies and close combat abilities. They are masters of cycling and charging, hammer and anvil tactics. They rely on volleys of deadly projectiles to keep the enemy units close to control. Now, throughout recording this video, there was a blog post by the Creative Assembly quite recently. They actually announced 2 more mythical units that you can get in the game. First of all, we have the Cyclops, and we've also got the giants as well, which you can recruit. The unit variety for Troy Total War is going to be different than other Total Wars. The battlefields of ancient Greece and Troy were predominantly infantry focused, with a scarce amount of cavalry and available reserved chariots. In order to reflect this historical realism faithfully, they've made the decision to make greater distinctions between infantry classes to promote more dynamic gameplay, and also make it harder to get those cavalry and chariot units. So infantry in Troy have 3 weight classes: light, medium, and heavy. The differences between them have been accentuated from previous Total Wars. So the light and medium spears won't be similar to previous ones. A unit's class and role define their overall speed, mass, and momentum. The greater mass means collisions are more impactful, while speed gives inter-infantry flanking a more prominent role. So a great example is this battle. Hector is a strong defensive leader and unit. He can hold the front line with a staunch row of spears, while Achilles is high octane, agile, looking to charge and wrap around the enemy flank. The terrain has also slightly been altered to reflect the Bronze Age Mediterranean. Realistically, there are new unit types within the battlefield. So there's mud, which severely impedes the movement of heavy units, which get stuck under the sheer weight of their colossal armors, while light units can move freely through it. So you can really min-max within the battlefield. You can use specific terrain tiles, you could say, to hold positions, and these are littered throughout the battlefields of ancient Greece. We do have similar things in Warhammer, but this will be greater exacerbated in battle. The long grass as well allows units to hide in the tall grass, to disappear from enemy view and snipe with their weapons, ideal with players with a disposition for using vanguard tactics. So if you already use that quite a lot, like in Warhammer 2, I personally don't too much, but if you're the type of person to lay ambushing traps and skirmishes throughout the battlefield and using the vanguard deployment, you'll love this in Troy. Sand as well slightly impacts the speed of all units, but a useful commander knows how to use even the slightest advantage to the terrain. So throughout the battlefield, sand will get you bogged down in it. Coming to the last few minutes of this particular battle, it's not looking good for Achilles. It looks like Hector is going to rewrite history this time around. Now, reflecting upon this battle, I held my front line where I could. I went through hammer and anvil tactics around the right, but it wasn't enough. Potentially, I could have avoided this valiant defeat by maybe being more particular, focusing my skirmishes upon their unique and heavy champions of Troy. For example, they're really like super heavy units. I'm curious to see how other Total War YouTubers did playing as Achilles, as I did hear that some of them had some trouble, like I did. So unfortunately, it's time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Got to say a huge thank you to the Creative Assembly for sending me a early access copy of Troy and allowing me to make these battle gameplay videos possible. So a huge thank you to them and their community team. I'll try and make more Troy videos when I can. The game on the Steam page says it's going to be released in 2020, so we'll hopefully have some more gameplay this year, but only time will tell. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to take care of yourselves after you've watched this video. Go out and have a fantastic rest of your day. Much love from Australia. Stay tuned for more content on SimpzyTotalWar. Peace out, guys. Bye.